Have you ever gotten to the end of a workday and just felt completely hollowed out? I mean, like you've gone 10 rounds in a boxing ring, but all you really did it was, answer some emails.
Oh, absolutely. It's that invisible fatigue, right?
Exactly. You feel like you've been battling something all day long, but you can't even name the opponent.
Well, we know what that opponent is.
It's your environment, it's everything around you, our physical desks, and maybe even more so, our digital screens. They're all fighting for our mental energy.
Constantly. And that fight is the root cause of the exhaustion.
And that's the drain we are tackling today in this deep dive, we're calling it.
Mhm.
The mental drain you feel every day at your desk.
I like it.
Our whole mission here is to give you a systematic guide to engineering an environment where that focused, deep work isn't a struggle anymore. It just becomes the default.
And that really starts with understanding two key ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Cognitive load and, well, brain drain. Think of your brain as a computer. Every single thing in your environment that's not dealt with, that pile of papers, the 100 icons on your desktop, that little red notification badge.
They're like background apps running.
Exactly. They are background processes, and each one reserves a little slice of your mental capacity. That's the brain drain. It gets in the way of deep thinking, and honestly, it just makes you tired.
So we're not just tidying up today, we're optimizing the brain's operating system.
That's a perfect way to put it.
All right, let's start with the physical world, the stuff right in front of you. This is where we declare war on the clutter tax.
The first directive is simple. Clear your desk.
Yeah.
Everything. If you're not using it for the one task you're doing right now, it has to go.
Because even if I'm not looking at that stack of reports, my brain is still processing it.
Your brain never stops processing it. Every visible object is a tiny competition for your attention. You're making these constant micro decisions. Should I deal with that? Is that important? It creates a cognitive load you don't even notice.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for me, and I think for everyone listening. The phone.
The phone.
You recommend a dedicated charging station that's outside the workspace, like in a drawer or even another room. That feels a bit extreme. Is the payoff really worth it if I just keep it face down?
The payoff is immense. The research is very clear on this. Even when it's silent and face down, its mere presence is a brain drain.
Yow.
Because your mind is still reserving capacity to monitor it. You know it's there. Your brain is sort of waiting for that next little hit of stimulus and text and alert.
So it's not the sound, it's the anticipation.
Precisely. You remove the device, you remove the anticipation, you free up that entire mental reservation.
That makes sense. Okay, next up, where you're actually sitting. A lot of people like to face a window or the door. What's the problem there?
It's a cognitive catastrophe if you're trying to do deep work.
Hmm.
You really want to position your desk facing a wall or a corner,
Away from the action.
away from all visual movement. We're biologically wired to notice movement in our periphery. It's a survival instinct.
A threat or an opportunity.
Right. So people walking by, cars outside, they trigger these automatic attention responses. They're micro interruptions that just shatter your focus over and over.
And something we probably don't think about enough is lighting.
Oh, it's huge. You want to use natural light as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
If you can't, get some bright daylight spectrum LEDs.
Why is that so important?
Because dim lighting is an ancient biological signal to your brain to prepare for rest. It's sunset. You're literally fighting your own biochemistry if you're trying to do complex work in a dimly lit room.
I love this next idea, integrating what you call intentional friction. How does that work in practice?
A great example is just logging out of your social media accounts after you use them.
So you have to type your password in every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah.
That tiny little obstacle, that friction, it interrupts the automatic habit, the muscle memory. It forces you to make a conscious choice. Do I really want to do this?
And 9 times out of 10, the answer is probably no. My personal favorite trick is analog capture. I always keep a physical notebook right next to my keyboard. Why is paper better here than, say, opening a notes app?
Because it avoids context switching. The moment you open a new tab or a new app on your computer, you've shifted your digital context.
And that's a slippery slope.
That's a path to mental drift. You'll just check one more thing, then another. The notebook captures the thought without breaking the integrity of your digital workspace.
That's the perfect transition, because now we need to talk about that digital workspace. We need to treat our screen like we treat our desk like expensive real estate.
And that starts with the desktop itself. For most people, it's a disaster zone.
Guilty.
You need to organize it so you only see files for your current projects. Every single icon is a tiny decision point. It adds to decision fatigue before you've even opened a document.
Okay, next up is taming the notification tsunami. This is where I think most of us really fall down.
We do, and you have to be ruthless. Turn off all non-essential notifications on every device, every platform,
Define essential.
very, very narrowly. We're talking a genuinely urgent issue from a key person, not an automated update, not a like on a comment.
And a lot of modern software gives you more control than just on or off, right?
Exactly. You have to use the granular controls in tools like Slack or Asana. Go into the settings, specify exactly what triggers an alert. You can cut out 90% of the noise that way.
Something else you mentioned is how we organize our apps. Most of us just let them sort alphabetically.
Which makes no sense. You should organize by frequency of use. Put your most used apps where you can get to them instantly. Hide the rest.
So you're not scanning through dozens of things you rarely need.
You eliminate that cognitive overhead. It's a small change that saves you seconds, dozens of times a day. And that adds up.
Let's apply that same thinking to file systems. People build these giant, complex folder trees.
And they get lost in them. The simple solution is a 3-tier system. Current projects, reference resources, and archives.
What I'm working on now, what I need to look up, and what's done.
That's it. It matches how we naturally think. Anything more just adds a search cost.
And the last digital detail. Future-proofing your files. This is such a simple habit.
But with a huge payoff. Use descriptive file names. Include dates and context. So instead of meeting notes, it's Q4 Strategy Meeting Notes Deck 15.
So 6 months from now, I know exactly what it is without having to open it.
You save yourself all that mental friction.
Okay. We've engineered our physical space. We've configured our digital tools. Now we get to part 3. Deep work system design. This is about protecting our time.
And it starts with a non-negotiable commitment. You have to schedule 2 to 4 hour blocks for deep work.
And treat them like real appointments.
Like a meeting with your most important investor. You protect them. You don't let a quick 15-minute chat break that block. You say no.
And to really enforce that, you suggest creating distinct operating modes.
Yes. You can use focus modes on your computer and phone. You need a deep work mode, which disables all notifications, all communication.
Total lockdown.
Then a communication mode, which allows email and messaging, but maybe blocks your work apps. And finally, a planning mode, with just your calendar and strategy tools.
It tells your brain exactly what the job is right now, but switching between those modes, it's not instant, is it? I always feel this mental drag.
That's what we call cognitive residue.
Okay.
It's like a footprint from the last task is still on your mental floor, so you need a little transition ritual. Just 5 minutes between different kinds of work.
What does that look like?
Close your tabs. Review your goals for the next session. Stand up, stretch, take 3 deep breaths. It signals to your brain that it's time to shift gears cleanly.
And a huge source of that residue is email. We need structured email management.
Desperately. 3 check-ins a day. That's it. Once in the morning, once after lunch, once before you log off.
And in between.
The inbox is closed completely. Notifications off. This stops you from being in a constant reactive state, always responding to other people's agendas.
And finally, protecting our peak energy.
You have to figure out when you're at your sharpest. For most people, that's the morning. And you protect those 2-3 hours like a fortress.
Use airplane mode if you have to.
Whatever it takes. That's when you deploy your best mental energy on your most important work.
All right, this brings us to part 4. Implementation and, crucially, ongoing optimization. And this starts outside of work, with sleep.
It has to. You need a device-free bedroom, charge your phone somewhere else, use a real alarm clock.
It's so tempting to check it first thing.
And that's the problem. It immediately puts you on the defensive. By creating that boundary, you improve your sleep and you protect your morning clarity.
And then in the morning, you build on that by delaying checking your phone for at least an hour.
At least. Start with silence, maybe some stretching, get some natural light. Review your own priorities for the day before you let the world's demands in.
That proactive start is key. But how do we maintain these boundaries without, frustrating our colleagues?
You manage expectations. Set up an autoresponder during your focus blocks. It can say something like, I'm at a deep work session until 11 a.m. and will respond then.
So people know you're not ignoring them, you're just protecting the quality of your work.
Exactly. And for a bigger reset, you need to schedule a weekly digital sabbatical.
A few hours, completely unplugged.
4 to 6 hours. No screens. Phone, computer, tablet, all off. Go for a walk. Read a physical book, have a real conversation. It recalibrates your entire nervous system.
Now, during the workday itself, let's talk about micro breaks. Taking 2 to 5 minutes every half hour seems counterintuitive. Doesn't that break your flow?
It sustains it. That tiny break prevents mental fatigue from building up. You step away from the screen, look at something far away, stretch. These little reboots keep your focus sharp for much longer.
And to stop all this good work from being undone by clutter creeping back in,
You need a weekly maintenance session, just 15 minutes. Schedule it. Tidy up your digital files, clear your downloads folder. It prevents that brain drain from ever taking hold again.
So, to wrap this all up, our deep dive today has really been about intentional engineering. It's not just tips, it's about building a whole system to protect your attention and stop that daily mental drain.
And so what does this all mean? Look, these systems aren't about being rigid just for the sake of it. They're about building an infrastructure that actually supports your core values. If you value doing high-quality, thoughtful work, these boundaries are what make that possible.
And here's a final thought for you to chew on. This isn't a one-and-done fix. You need to review and adjust these boundaries every month to catch what we call habit drift.
That's so important.
Your work changes, the tech changes, so your system has to evolve. And instead of tracking how exhausted you are, start tracking your wins. Choose simple metrics that motivate you. How many deep work blocks did you complete this week? Did you stick to your 3 email checks today? Track what helps you focus, not what measures your fatigue.